I would say, in the end, that this is set.
Yeah, we've got one little piece of wall. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
2 pieces of wall, maybe. Yes.
And then this is you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is real. And this is real. Real. Not so real. Not so real. Not so real. Real. This is gonna be tricky. Not so real. Not so real. Real. Not so real. Do this stuff like crazy. I was feeling so good about my ability to do this, and then I screwed it up. I know this is going to work. I know it's going to work because it's impossible. You know, we're pushing the envelope in a few places, but the biggest issue is volume. It was just the amount of stuff.
Yes.
And of course, that's the part that creates the world. Jar Jar is a key to all this. If we get Jar Jar working, because he's a funnier character than we've ever had in any of the movies before.
Well, the thing that's really big here is in the big grass planet battle there, the zillions of creatures. You know, we don't have a real good way of doing that right now. So that's where some real innovation.
Yeah, I know, but that is the challenge. Though.
Exactly. That's
the set piece.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that how are you going to top the pod race? Yeah, because it's pretty intense. They'll be exhausted by the time they end the pod race. They'll be ready to go home. But the thing is that we can top the pod race with this incredible Jedi battle that we've always heard about in the last 3 movies but never really got to see. And then that with Anakin, you know, kind of duplicating the Luke Skywalker role, but you see the echo of where it all is going to go. And instead of destroying the Death Star, he destroys the ship that controls the robots. Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme. Every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one. Hopefully it'll work. How are we going to start? What are we going to do? If I put my producer hat on, then it's purely, I don't care how we get this done. I don't care who pays for it. I got to somehow get my movie made. And our budget is $50 million. That's how much money we have. You know, it's...
Well, George, you know, the sentiments that you express, I am not unsympathetic with. I think you can agree that we're not really fat on how much time goes into animating a particular thing or building a particular creature or environment.
So Judith and I looked at every single pod race shot. I think we had the 14-minute version of it, and we identified the environments that we would apply to do EB Crater. We've got 19,000 to create that environment.
But I mean, there's $600,000 worth of pods. Then you actually have to do the shots.
Which was 16 million, right? So
where is the thing that breaks down how much it costs per shot to fly a pod?
Hi, Steve. My name is Rick McCallum. I'm the producer of Star Wars. Do you know where I can reach you in now?
And we're making some very aggressive, taking some very aggressive positions on, okay, well, we're just going to have to be able to animate the full face on Jar Jar in 2 weeks.
Brilliant. All right, my dear. Take care. Bye. Fantastic. All right. He's going to call any minute. You just put me through into this meeting? Okay.
You know, listen, I have a reputation as a troublemaker back at ILM, always being...
Thank God you do.
That's why you're here.
Exactly.
Okay, so listen, I'm doing my damnedest to figure out, well, how do we even do a shot like this? And okay, well, these are the techniques I think they're going to be the most bang for the buck. And geez, well, you just have to be able to animate that in 2 weeks. And
The real point is how can we manage to change the operating procedures in a way that we can completely revolutionize the way we make movies so that this is all doable? Because it's not just that we have to do it for this picture, we have to do it for 2 more pictures. And also, if this picture works, then everybody else will want it done for their picture. And what are we going to do? You know, I mean, nobody can afford to do it at these prices, so.
Hello? Dude, I'm so happy. This is just, it's brilliant. I'm so happy. George is so happy. It's just fantastic. Listen, I saw Liam on Sunday in Prague, and I told him we were getting closer and closer, and he was so thrilled. I mean, really, really happy. We all are. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's going to be a great movie. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also, I think, going to be so worthwhile.
I think he's fun.
Does he speak?
No
sound. No.
Well, they'll probably put some noises on the soundtrack. No, he's just one of the senators, so he's almost a cutaway. We've got tons of these that are just
a few shots.
Yeah, in the middle of a major scene. But it's great that we've brought over all the old stuff. We've got the original Yoda here.
Have you got the original Yoda?
And the original Chewbacca, which we're not allowed to damage or touch or alter because they're iconic.
All the Einstein lines. I had to get something that was subconsciously register in people's minds. They'd recognise something vaguely, I hoped. And it seemed to work somehow or another.
There is another theory.
Yeah, there is a bit of me in it too, yeah. The comic bits. So there
it is.
This actually snarls and comes up, should come up quite a bit. Yeah, that still does. So does that one.
Yeah.
And,
If the foam hadn't deteriorated, it would still work.
Yeah. It's not too bad actually. And it does, the jaw does open, I imagine, a bit, does it?
Yeah.
Should do. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Is the tongue still movable? It's a little bit on the stiff side.
Yeah. Apart from changing from foam latex to silicon, because we're going to do the skin in silicon, which I'll show you when we get back there.
Silicon foam?
No, silicon rubber.
I
not
mean,
foam,
yeah, silicon rubber. Yeah,
and
of course, yeah.
it's because basically it can be
Softer.
translucent, and you
Yes.
can make it very soft.
Even the eyelids. Can you make the left eyelids, make them blink and the right eyebrow go up at the same time?
I told you it was tough.
The snarling. No, that's very good indeed. My goodness, that's great. Radio control. Lovely.
Creature shot?
Goodness.
We're doing frogs, alien frogs for
Yes.
particular scenes. Everyone's done a frog.
This is a creature film, isn't it?
One or two, yes.
Sometimes there's something wrong about certain heads, but
Oh, we've got one of them.
I don't know. Well, you put them in the back room because what I've seen now, it's all got something, some character in it.
So, Stuart, we thought that we should do something to mark your visit. This is for you.
My goodness.
And it's from all of us.
Oh, that's
To say
fantastic.
thank you.
Oh, that is fantastic. That's incredible. That is fantastic. Well, well, well.
Is this him?
Yeah, he's looking a bit lame at the moment. Polyphone.
It'll be slightly warm inside that, isn't it?
A bit moist.
It feels disgusting. What is that material?
Silicone.
Silicon. It's a Cinderella moment. It fits. I shall marry the prince.
Right, does that feel painful anyway? More painful than normal? If you try and do this, this might not work.
Okay.
No, it might dig in as well.
Okay.
Okay, close, open, close. Now, if you open your mouth as if you're doing exaggerated dialogue, does it work?
Exaggerated dialogue.
Oh, yes! It kind of moves. Yeah.
Some people pay huge amounts of money to have a woman put them in this kind of thing.
Yeah, well, not me,
And
sadly.
then tell them what to do.
Okay, try again. Big mouth.
Exaggerated dialogue.
The way I work is the first thing I'll do is I'll go and I'll shoot a wide shot. I'll just set the camera up in the corner. You know, I'm not going to relentlessly go down and lay out the storyboards or everything exactly what's going to happen, because I want to, on the day when I see that wide shot play itself out in the set.
I take it
You say action after we roll camera?
I'll say action.
You don't.
Sometimes I forget.
People forget.
If I forget to say action or cut, just step in and say action and cut. I manage action and cut and faster and more intense. And then mostly I sit there looking miserable and quiet.
Basically what we've done is we've taken over the Rolls-Royce factory, which has about 850,000 square feet, and we converted it into stage space. Right now we have 600 people working for us. We're building sets on 3 shifts, 24 hours a day.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to Teiger, who's our prop master.
Hi.
And an integral part of our team with all the boys that we've got working here. Probably the best bunch of hooligans I've ever worked with in my life.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You're a darling.
So, this is kind of our prop store. These came out of mainframe computers, which we'll either use as dressing or incorporate into something else. And in fact, already we've sort of taken half of them and put them in the panels in Anakin's room. All of this will be things that will be used in the Tatooine Street in the markets for displaying fruit and vegetables or whatever the guys might be selling. And we've just let the boys have their head and say, look, you know, imagine that you're going to be selling something down in Covent Garden, but it's not, it's the Tatooine Street. I think these are gaskets, aren't they?
Yeah, those are gaskets.
Yeah.
That's an aerial off a fighter aeroplane. Held together with lots of very strong glue.
Yep. Very strong, believe it or not.
I mean, the only way you can actually realise what to do is by getting the boys here to actually come up with ideas.
What do you call it? Gizmo, techno sort of looking sci-fi equipment, really.
I mean, when I went over to the ranch last year and I was talking to George for the first time about it, one of the sayings that was coming up was, it should be cheap, but it should be creative. And it's being able to see something and readapt it so it's not recognisable, but using its best facility to make it into something completely different. We actually found a place on an old airfield in Oxford full of medical equipment, of which there was the most extraordinary, strange toothpicks and little mirrors and drills.
And the little bits and pieces, were they in those rooms?
Yeah,
over
on
there?
the right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
If I just pull them out, can I put them in a pile separately, or?
Don't.
I think that's brilliant. I'll just put this to one side. It's quite nice though, isn't it?
It is lovely.
I don't even want to know what some of this stuff's for.
Uh, 15 for that. And you tell me if you don't like it.
10.
15.
12.50.
15. 350?
£2.
350.
Nah. Oh no, it's broken. It's definitely £2.
That goes with something else.
And what we did is we took those tools away and we added to them and welded certain bits and pieces together. Anakin and his mother have a certain amount of toolery themselves. But that is a classic example of building something out of nothing, really. These are bearings, 2 lots of bearings. There's a cog in there. He's put all of them together. He's found another little cog here with holes in and just dropped the pieces that came from Swindon from the medical supplier. And all of a sudden you've got one of them. It's Boys in Paradise, really.
Yes, yes,
doing all
definitely.
boys
It's a boys'
stuff.
film.
It's a boys' film. Unless, of course, we were women, and then it would be women doing a boys' film.
I feel like I'm in some guerrilla army polishing guns.
just like doing a sculpture. We'd have the base of the gun, and then we start to put things together like a jigsaw and say, well, that looks good on the top there, and all of a sudden, you've got a finished article. You know, when George comes over, we have everything nicely laid out, rather than saying, oh, there's a bit over here, George, there's a bit over there, there's a bit over there, because he wants to be able to see it in its nicest possible way.
Yeah, it's like having an exhibition every time he comes over.
That's a very good way of putting it, yeah.
Attachment for when he fires the cable. So what we're thinking of doing is making these out of a cast, which actually fit onto the gun, which you can then take off the fire.
Perfect.
So that'll be on there, and then bang.
These are actually castings of the real original, but I think they're a gun that's held either like that. These are the machine guns, yeah, dummy machine guns. I mean, obviously they're making real shooting versions of these as well. There's a shot where they all pull the guns out of the holsters and put the rockets in the end like that.
Bang.
Binoculars?
Very good, everybody looks so close. Should be something nice.
That was going to be the comlink for the Jedi.
No, that's good.
Okay.
We're always a bit selfish. We'd like as much stuff to be seen as possible. Yeah. And like the piece that you were spinning, I mean, that's a fabulous part. And maybe before they turn over, George would just have it spinning slightly. And things like that almost build up, don't they? They might actually start on that and pull out and reveal everything else, you know.
Well, thanks a lot.
The story's the most important, not the props. And you've got to get used to that. But it is the actors that are the most important, obviously. You know, we're just the background stuff, really.
This is about Darth Vader when he's a young boy. Yeah, this is when he's a good boy. And then what happens to him? He joins the film business.
This is it.
Kind of cool. This is it, the beginning. I can't believe it.
And after this meeting, I'll finish writing the script.
I'll start with me. I'm Rick. I'm the producer.
Hi, Rick.
I'm George. I'm responsible for all this.
I'm Natalie, and I'm playing Amidala.
I'm Pranilla. I'm playing Shmi or Shmai. Have we decided?
It's officially
I'm Jake, and I'm playing Anakin Skywalker. Mom, I'm home.
Yes, of course.
Oh my, Annie, what's this?
These are all my friends, Mom.
This is Jar Jar Binks.
And our droid R2-D2.
An extremely well put together little droid. Without a doubt, it saved the ship as well as our lives.
Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future.
But not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful of the living force, my young Padawan.
Yes, my master.
These junk dealers must have a weakness of some kind.
Gambling. Everything here revolves around betting on those awful races.
Promise me you'll train the boy. He is the chosen one.
Yes, master.
Always two there are. No more, no less. A master and an apprentice.
But which one was destroyed? The master or the apprentice?
Today is the day before the first day of shooting. Last night I finished the last draft of the script. I think the definition of a good director is a director who knows what he wants. You know, is willing to have input, but at the same time has a very clear picture of what he's going after and how he's getting there. And that picture of what he's trying to deal with is the larger picture of the story that he's telling, which involves the characters and involves the sets and involves everything else. But each department has a tendency to want to overwhelm the movie with its department. You know, the sets are everything and everybody else is nothing. And the actors, it's the actors are everything and everybody else is nothing. You know, it's the soundtrack is everything and everything else is nothing. The camera work is everything and everything else is nothing. And that's not true. The story is everything. And everything else should work in concert with that to tell the story. And as a tool being used to tell the story. So you have to keep everything in balance. And it's natural that anybody who's doing something in their department would think their department's the most important department. But in the real world, it's a small clog in a large clock.
This is roll 1B backup tape of Star Wars The Beginning. This is an HHB portadat, DT1000, 48 kilohertz, camera running 24 frames a second.
Right, I'm off the set.
Alright, we're going to get that shot ready now. So you don't need to be standing around on the platform, move on, thank you.
I mean, what the reset? Good. Good morning. How are you? Look good today?
Quiet on stage. Ready, Trevor? Turn over.
Speed.
Good luck, everybody. Now let's kick ass. 77, take 1.
And action.
Everything is going as planned. The Republic will soon be in my control.